Ingolf Burkhardt is one of the most experienced and sought-after jazz and lead trumpet players in Europe today. Primarily self-taught until he enrolled at the Cologne University of Music in 1985, he was asked to join the North German Radio Big Band shortly after graduation. As a member of this full-time European radio jazz orchestra, he has performed and recorded with such luminaries as Joe Pass, Jimmy Smith, Wayne Shorter, Al Jarreau, and Bobby McFerrin. He has fronted bands with his mentor, the great Bobby Shew, and toured extensively worldwide. Ingolf is also a member of Alan Skidmore's Afro-British band Ubizo and a seasoned master-class clinician. He was professor of trumpet at the Music Conservatory in Hamburg from 2000 to 2008 and is in high demand as a studio musician, recording with his horn section, the Matterhorns. He has released 4 solo CDs to date, and his present project, Jazzul, is groove-based and features Ingolf with one of the top pop rhythm sections in Germany. Ingolf Burkhardt is one of the most versatile and talented trumpet players of his generation. We are proud to welcome him to Masters of Brass. So you get accepted in Cologne, and you have your first teacher. And did you have who was that?
It's a guy by the name of Manfred Schof. Manfred was the professor until like maybe 2 years ago, when he retired. He was my first proper trumpet teacher. He would like sit down at the piano and during the lesson, and I'd just play something, Green Dolphin Street, for example, and he would write me a line that I would have to play, to get an idea of what could be played on Green Dolphin Street, for example. And so that sort of helped me a lot to develop my feeling and to learn about how I can learn to play. That's a very important thing for me, to teach people how they can teach themselves and how they can teach themselves to learn in a for them appropriate way, because everybody's different. Before I went to Cologne, my big goal was like getting to the studios and do like studio recordings, like the horn sections I knew from Earth, Wind & Fire, and like the great Jack Findlay, who I met later. And people like that, Jerry Hay, Larry Williams, who I just met on the tour with Al Jarreau, people like that. Those horn shapes, sea wind horns. I thought like this was the ultimate dream, to be like studio musicians and go out on tour with pop bands. I didn't actually at that point think so much of a career as a jazz musician or improvising, because that wasn't really my goal. I didn't know how to do it well enough yet to. I was a good enough trumpet player, but improvising wasn't quite there yet. In walks Bobby Shew, and of course I was nervous, So of course immediately we got in contact, got in touch, and we did this workshop. And the same year I auditioned for the Bujazo, the National Youth Big Band of Germany, under the leadership of Peter Herbolzheimer. And they also had Bobby as a teacher, so that was in the same year. So Bobby did the workshop at the school, and in the same year, like half a year later, we went to some place and had a 2 weeks workshop with this newfound, big band thing. And I highly recommend it for every lead player to get their hands on jazz playing as well. Just to learn it enough to develop a taste of phrasing, and it's not all about loudness and killing those notes, it's also about taste and how you play the notes, not everything has to be like loud, and it's enough to play with a good sound and phrase it well, so for me that's the secret of great lead playing, is stay tasteful, Our lead trumpet player Thorsten Benkenstein had a model developed for these people here, Schargau in Austria, and they heard about me looking for a medium large horn, and so they called me up. I was very lucky and honored if I was interested in trying their instruments, So they sent me this. It's Schargau Penelope, it's called. All Greek names. It's a medium large, but it has a large sound, and that's what I like about it. So I stuck with them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I love them. I love them. It's the best horns I've ever played, trumpet and flugelhorn. The mouthpieces I use is a Bob Reeves. It's this one that I use basically for everything. It's a 41C. I also have a 41M dynamic mass. So I use. I've been using Bob Reeves mouthpieces for the last 5, 6 or 7 years. I'm extremely happy with them, and they work great together with the Chargal because.
Yeah, show us that. Show us the trumpet and
yes.
Talk about it a little bit. What's so special about it?
Well, it's handmade first of all to start with. It's gold plated. This model, which is great for me since I have unfortunately I have very aggressive sweat. I literally eat the horns up. Like the flugelhorn that I use is the Dion, and it's silver, and you can already see it's black all here.
Yeah.
The oxidation is already starting here, even though it's a year younger than the trumpet. So I'll have to get a gold plated one. It feels like, of course, since it is medium large, it plays like a medium large, but I get a large sound with it, and that's what I was after. That's what I was looking for.
So you hadn't gotten that with any other instrument you've played?
Not really, no,
yeah?
not to the same extent. They were either too big. I mean, the combination of a big bell with a small bore doesn't always work out. This seems just to have the right thickness, and I mean, I'm not a trumpet builder. I don't actually even know how, physically speaking, a trumpet works, you know. But they apparently have found a way of manufacturing trumpets that work, and it's just what I was looking for. Lucky enough, I've found it, you know.
Great.
Yeah, I'm extremely happy with it.
I noticed that there's a lot of classical players that play these Chargal trumpets. Not so many jazz players, but it seems to be kind of up and coming in the jazz. Can you talk about that a little bit? Why is it good for jazz, or is it just good for you, or?
No. I mean, there's some great players using them. Well, see, the individuality of sound that we're all after as classical or jazz players, but even more as jazz players, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
To find your own sound, you have to have an instrument that gives your individuality room, you know, and freedom, you know, so you don't have to think about the equipment when you try to express your ideas. If the trumpet has constructional limits or or failures, then your ideas get blocked, you know, or you know, so obviously this horn is so well built and so well manufactured that this will never be a problem. And I think just like the musicians themselves, when I talked about the accurateness and the control that a classical player needs to have, and they're mainly building trumpets for classical players, those qualities have to be in that horn. And that can only help a jazz player, because when we express complicated ideas in a solo, you know, the trumpet has to be able to do that.